My fellow Texans and American citizens, my name is Edward Jenkins, and I am a resident of Congressional District 32 in Garland, Texas. Since 1978, I have lived, worked, and volunteered in this district. As a citizen of the state of Texas, I am concerned about our cities, our state, and our country. On January 6th, I, like many of you, watched in horror as events unfolded in our nation's capital. I was equally horrified in the summer of 2020 when vandals took over and burned our cities, ruined businesses, and caused the loss of lives. When I went to social media to express my anger and disappointment, I realized then just how divided our country is and how divided it has been for so much time. We are always divided in some way, whether it's racially, financially, or politically. And some division is good because it creates a debate, a healthy debate between us as citizens. But the division that I'm seeing in our world today is leading to shouting, fierce arguments, and even hatred. The shape our country is in reminds me of an Old Testament story. It's the story of Nehemiah and his struggles to rebuild his country from utter ruin. Nehemiah had been carried away into a foreign land, and one day he got word that his homeland of Jerusalem was in shambles. The gates of the city had been torn down and the walls had gaping holes in them. And Nehemiah did what most of us have done in the last 12 months. He wept. He wept for his nation. This morning while attending church, I became overwhelmed with a burden for our country, and I began to weep. I began to cry out to God through my tears and ask Him for a plan, for the words to say that might start healing our land. I know many of you are not churchgoers, and some of you may already be dismayed by my religious references. But let me just say, whether we're Jews or Greeks or Gentiles or Southern Baptist or atheist, we are all Americans, and we all love our country. And that's one thing that we can agree on. When I was a boy, our country was divided then too. But in 1980, we elected a president who led us through a turbulent time and actually united us as a country and brought us from the brink of destruction. Ronald Reagan used to talk to us about a shining city on a hill and how it could not be hidden. We began to believe his vision. In 1993, we elected a man who believed in a little place called hope. And in 1994, we elected a Republican Congress. And together, they worked out a balanced budget and a surplus. In 2001, President George W. Bush led us from a tragedy to a triumph as we united as a country to fight evil and to uphold good standards. These men that I mentioned were great men, but what made them great, what showed their greatness, was their ability to reach across the aisle and to get us to work together. The greatness of these men cannot be overstated because what they did made a difference. When we as a nation come together, regardless of party, we can do great things. That's what they taught us. So I'm imploring all of you, regardless of your political party, to lay aside those things which easily divide us and let us come together as a nation and be united. I have 2 grandchildren, and they deserve a world, a country, a state, a city, and a family that is not so divided that we hate one another. I read somewhere that we hold a few truths to be self-evident. We hold that all men are created equal, Democrat or Republican, gay or straight, white or black, rich or poor. We all touch the throne of freedom the same way. We are endowed by our Creator to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So we are all free to live our lives the way we please. We also agree that our government is instituted by us and with our consent. Our representatives should be on notice that their jobs are just temporary. They are hired by us and for us. And if they are no longer effective, they should be replaced by us. America needs all of its citizens working together for the common good. America needs us united as one nation under God, not two overgrown partisan groups. So I'm calling on all Americans to each do our part and lay down our political swords and work together. This isn't a Republican idea or a Democrat initiative. This is an American principle that was founded 246 years ago. We can do this, and we must do this for our children and grandchildren. How can we possibly teach our young people to love one another if we cannot show them a living example that they may emulate? How can we tell them that they can have freedom of speech if we shout down anyone who does not believe like we believe? How can we teach them unity if we ourselves are so divided? The answer to these questions is we can't. We are nothing more than hypocrites in their eyes. So today, let us all look deep within. Let us decide to make our country what it was meant to be, free. Let's show our freedom through the power of love, through the respect of each other's point of view, and through honorable discourse on social media and face-to-face interactions. Let us be Americans and behave like Americans. May God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.